Kindness without strategy is the inevitable ruin of man.
Think of the kindest person you know. Always available, always saying yes, always helping. Are they truly respected? Or are they just the one everyone calls when they need something? The brutal truth: kindness doesn't protect you. It exposes you. When your kindness is predictable, people know you'll never say no. They know you won't defend yourself. You become the one who always pays the bill, the one who covers the shifts, the family member who fixes everything, even at their own expense. And in the end, what do you get? Exactly zero respect. Because limitless kindness doesn't inspire admiration. It breeds abuse. People don't value what's always available. They exploit it. Look around. Who rises at work? The one who always sacrifices, or the one who knows when to say no? Who gets heard in conversations? The one who stays quiet not to offend, or the one bold enough to disrupt? The pattern is constant. People don't bow to excessive kindness. They bow to strength. And here's where most get deceived. They think kindness will shield them from pain. But in reality, it opens every door to manipulation. If you act as though you have no teeth, don't be surprised when everyone tests how far they can bite.
In my time, I saw kingdoms fall for this same weakness. Princes who sought to be loved, kings who wished always to be benevolent, all ended betrayed by the very ones they had favored. Kindness without measure does not protect a ruler. It destroys him. A prince who offers only mercy becomes predictable, and the predictable is easy prey. No mistake is greater than to believe the affection of men is a solid wall. Affection is like the wind, strong today, vanished tomorrow. The prince who builds solely on the gratitude of his people builds upon sand, and when the storm comes, he finds no shelter. I wrote it so. The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself against wolves. Thus one must be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten the wolves. And I add this: he who behaves like a sheep in a world of wolves does not last long, for he inspires neither fear nor respect. Men love while it suits them, but they fear even against their will. Tell me, do you wish to be loved as a lamb, or respected as a lion? Comment below, and I will see if you have understood.
Block 1. The trap of generosity. You've lived this. You give, you give, you give. At first they thank you, then they expect it. Finally, they demand it. Repeated generosity turns into obligation, and obligation turns into resentment. The pattern is always the same. Help once and you're a hero. Help 10 times and you're invisible. Say no once, and suddenly you're the villain. Nobody remembers past sacrifices. Everyone fixates on the present refusal. Look around. Parents who give everything to their children and are treated as if they still owe more. Friends who always pay the bill, yet the day they don't, they're branded stingy. Co-workers who cover every shift, but when they refuse once, they're accused of lacking commitment. Here's the harsh truth. Abundance kills value. The more you offer without measure, the less your offering is worth. Like any drug, excess kindness creates addiction, and addicts rage when the dose is cut. This is the paradox of generosity. You think you're building loyalty. In reality, you're creating dependency, and dependency never breeds respect, only more demand.
I saw this with my own eyes. A ruler who distributes favors endlessly soon ceases to appear generous and begins to look weak. His subjects no longer see him as a magnanimous prince, but as an inexhaustible spring to be drained. That is why I wrote, benefits should be granted little by little, so that they may be savored more. If you give all at once, or without measure, they lose their effect, and the prince ruins himself. The gratitude of the people is short and fragile, but their ambition is endless. Today they receive a favor and praise you. Tomorrow they receive the same favor and see it as their right. The next day, if they do not receive more, they hate you. Many princes were destroyed by confusing generosity with governance. He who tries to buy love with gifts ends up selling himself entirely. And when he can give no more, he discovers he has not loyal subjects, but parasites that devour him to the bone. Generosity without strategy is slow poison. A ruler must learn to give sparingly and deny firmly, otherwise he becomes a slave to those he sought to rule.
Block 2. The Mask of Virtue. We live in a world obsessed with appearances. It's not what you are that matters, it's what you seem to be. That's the trap. You can have a pure heart, but if your image doesn't project strength, few will follow you. Think about it. Social media, offices, politics. Nobody analyzes your soul. They judge your facade. Do you look confident? Do you look trustworthy? Do you look strong? That's the standard. The mistake many make is believing authenticity alone will give them power. Reality says otherwise. If your authenticity cannot wield the theater of appearances, you'll be crushed by those who do. Society does not reward invisible purity. It rewards visible impression. This isn't about being fake. It's about being strategic. A surgeon who cuts open a body isn't cruel. It's necessary. In the same way, showing coldness, even if they call you harsh, can be the most authentic act of protection. Kindness without strategy is naivety. Virtue without a mask is vulnerability. The world doesn't respect what you hide in your heart. It respects what you project on your face.
I saw this among princes and courtiers. The ruler who tried to always be virtuous ended up ridiculed because pure virtue clashes with the brutality of politics. That is why I wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Politics is theater, and the prince is the actor. He may doubt, suffer, or even fear in his heart, but he must never show it in public, for the crowd feeds on images, not truths. The wise prince smiles while he plots, concedes when it suits him, and withdraws his hand when danger looms. Not out of whimsy, but because power is built on perception. The appearance of virtue is a weapon. You wield it as a shield, while beneath it, you hold the sword. Who survives longer? The naive ruler who always tells the truth and exposes himself to betrayal, or the one who knows when to stay silent, when to appear merciful, and when to act with iron? History answered 1,000 times. The survivor is the one who masters the mask. The people don't judge with their hearts, they judge with their eyes. And eyes are easily deceived.
Block 3. The Economy of Power and Personal Resources. Here's what few admit. Every yes has a cost. Every favor, every overtime hour, every time you help while exhausted, you're spending invisible currency you'll never get back. How many times have you done it? Saying yes to avoid conflict. Saying yes because it's the right thing. Saying yes because you fear being judged. Until one day, your account is empty. Nothing left for yourself. That's when resentment appears. Fatigue. Emptiness. After giving everything, you find yourself incapable of giving anything. You become a burden. To yourself, and eventually to others. The truth is mathematical. Your energy, time, and attention are finite. Spend them on carrying everyone else, and you have nothing left to build your own life. It's like on a plane. Oxygen mask on yourself first, then others. Not because you're selfish, but because if you fall, you drag down the one you tried to save. Unlimited kindness is like a bank account without control. Sooner or later, you're in the red, and no one bails out the man who ruined himself by never learning to say no.
Princes of my time ignored this invisible law as well. Many began their reigns throwing festivals, scattering wealth, funding wars they could not afford. And when the coffers ran dry, they discovered the affection of the people filled no treasury. Power is measured in resources as much as in will. The prince who exhausts himself trying to please all soon finds himself poor, dependent, and therefore weak. And a weak prince does not rule, he obeys. I wrote, "He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command." Command begins with self-rule, restraining waste, curbing excessive generosity, reserving strength for what matters most. Subjects forget past feasts when there is hunger today. Likewise, a ruler who drains his treasury to please all will soon beg help from the very people he sought to please. At that moment, he is no longer a prince. He is a beggar. The lesson is eternal. If you do not rigorously manage your resources, someone else will. And when another controls your treasure, your time, or your will, you are no longer sovereign.
Block 4. Strategic virtue. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not telling you to abandon kindness or to become cruel. I'm telling you your kindness must have strategy. A sword in a glass case protects no one. But in the right hands at the right time, it can save a life. Your generosity, your honesty, your mercy, they must not be automatic. They must be intentional. Every yes should be a statement of strength, not an act of weakness. Every time you help, it should be because you chose, not because you couldn't refuse. Think, what's the use of scattering your energy into 1,000 small favors that leave no mark? What's the use of pleasing everyone if no one respects you? Strategic kindness means focusing your virtue where it matters, on people and causes worthy of your effort. Because when you say yes to everything, your yes loses value. But when you reserve it, each affirmation weighs like a verdict. Your acts of kindness stop being unnoticed gestures. They become symbols.
I saw the same in politics. The prince who tried to be good to all became a slave to all. But the one who was selective in his kindness multiplied his power. That is why I wrote, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." It doesn't mean you must lie habitually. It means blind loyalty can be as dangerous as open betrayal. The wise ruler knows that mercy, honesty, generosity, they must be wielded as weapons, not chains. Mercy at the right moment can seal eternal loyalty. Mercy at the wrong moment can cost you the throne. All virtue is like this. Used without calculation, it becomes weakness. Used with strategy, it becomes power. A prince must know how to appear just and merciful, but also when to strike with steel for the stability of the realm. Because virtue, naked and constant, is an invitation to abuse. Virtue, armed and selective, is the most feared tool of power.
Block 5. The illusion of gratitude. Gratitude feels eternal, but it vanishes fast. You've lived it. Helped someone once, twice, 10 times, and at first they thank you. Soon it becomes routine, and routine kills memory. The day you say no, no one remembers your sacrifices. They see only the refusal. Suddenly you, the one who was always there, are branded selfish. This isn't malice, it's psychology. Humans adapt quickly to good. What yesterday felt miraculous today feels normal. What was once a favor tomorrow is a right. That's why so many feel resentful after giving so much. They expect eternal gratitude, but receive instant forgetfulness. Look around. Parents who gave everything, now scolded by unsatisfied children. Friends who offered constant support, abandoned at the first stumble. Colleagues who worked tirelessly, never acknowledged. The pattern repeats. Gratitude is short-lived, but resentment lasts forever. Don't misunderstand. This doesn't mean stop helping. It means you must accept human gratitude is volatile, and therefore, you need limits. Without them, one day you'll find your kindness not only forgotten, but treated as a debt.
I wrote it plainly. Men judge more by the eye than by the hand. For all see what you seem, few feel what you are. What does it mean? That people remember what they see today, not what they received yesterday. The prince who relies on the memory of his people commits a fatal error. You can save them from misery, enrich them, give them peace. But the day you deny one request, they forget it all. I saw princes who believed they had purchased eternal gratitude with favors and concessions. But when they could give no more, the same people who praised them demanded their heads. Gratitude is perfume. intoxicating for a moment, but it vanishes into air. That's why I advised rulers to ration benefits and administer mercy with calculation. If you give all at once, it's forgotten quickly. If you release them strategically, the memory lasts longer. It's not cruelty, it's survival. Because men forget good quickly, but never forget harm. The prince who understands this sustains power. The one who ignores it is devoured by ingratitude.
Block 6. Results over intentions. The world doesn't judge you by what you feel. It judges you by what you do. Your intentions may be pure, your motives noble, your heart clean. But if you produce no results, they mean nothing outside yourself. Think of history. How many good men were forgotten because they left nothing but good intentions? Meanwhile, even the harsh, the ruthless, the inconvenient are remembered because they left impact. Look at your life. What good are the best intentions at work if you miss deadlines? What good is wishing the best for someone if you never act to change their path? Intention doesn't build. Action does. Here's the trap. We confuse being good with doing good. They are not the same. The one who tries to be good for everyone ends up irrelevant. The one who dares to demand, to confront, to decide. He may be hated in the moment, but he's the only one remembered. The harsh truth. The world won't remember your inner goodness. It remembers if you changed something. If your kindness left no effect, it wasn't kindness. It was cheap comfort you gave yourself.
I wrote it with bluntness. The ends justify the means. Many interpret it as license for evil, but that was not the meaning. I meant that intentions alone are not enough. What matters is the effect you produce. I saw princes who showed mercy to enemies, only to be destroyed by them. Rulers who sought to be loved before feared, only to be assassinated in the square. Their intentions were noble, yet their kingdoms burned all the same. The ruler who survives is the one who understands. The appearance of cruelty may, at times, be more merciful than weak kindness. A decisive act can save a kingdom, while indecision, though born of a pure heart, destroys it. No one remembers that your intention was good if the outcome was chaos. No one thanks you for your sweetness if your sweetness allowed betrayal to thrive. Men live with consequences, not motives. That is why I advised. Better to be hated for a decision that preserves power than loved for a weakness that surrenders it. History does not write about intentions. It writes about victories and defeats.
Block 7. Legacy and survival. In the end, it all comes down to this. What will remain when you're gone? Because the world does not honor the good who leave no mark. It honors those who survived long enough to build a legacy. You may be kind, generous, sincere, but if you do not survive, if you do not protect your strength, your voice is silenced before it can echo. And when you go silent too soon, the only thing left is oblivion. Think, who remembers those who only tried to please? No one. Who remembers those who resisted, imposed limits, dared to speak what others feared? Those are the names that endure. Blind kindness may earn affection for a moment. Strategy and strength ensure permanence. And only when you endure can you leave something behind. That is the difference between being remembered as a good person or as someone who changed reality.
I saw it in every court, every city, every kingdom. The weak were forgotten. The strong were written into history. That is why I wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Not because love is useless, but because love is fragile, while fear is firm. The ruler who seeks only to be loved surrenders himself to the whims of the crowd. Today they cheer him, tomorrow they curse him. But the one who ensures he is feared endures long enough to build something that lasts. Do not mistake this for cruelty without reason. It is calculation. The prince survives not only for himself, but so his legacy is not erased. Strength preserves the voice. The voice preserves memory. Memory preserves the realm. Men don't remember intentions. They remember what you built or what you destroyed. The weak are buried in forgetfulness. The strong, even hated, remain in the memory of generations. So here's the question. Do you want to be loved by everyone and forgotten tomorrow, or feared and respected enough to be remembered forever? Because kindness without strategy is a chain. But kindness joined with strength becomes a weapon that leaves a mark. That is the choice, and that is the price.